latest out of Washington?
As far as Baby Bear?
Yeah.
She's doing well.
Good.
Life is good. Yeah, she's loving it. My wife's a reporter, so
Yeah.
she's a writer, right? She's up there doing her thing. She's more on the political side than the athletic side.
Yeah.
She's having a good time. So appreciate you asking.
Yeah.
What do you think of what have you seen this spring? What do you think of what you've seen from the offense?
I love it. I love what we're doing. I think our kids are flying around and playing hard, and I know it's, again, a coach speak, and everybody's having a great spring, right? I mean, there's no wins and losses to substantiate what you're seeing and doing. But, for the most part, I think our kids are having a great time with what we're doing. I think we're more well-rounded. The tight ends have added a different aspect to what we want to do offensively. And I think you'll see a little bit of a different team, a little more well-rounded team come September. Not that what we were doing is bad, not by any stretch. And we take off, like we've talked about a million times, halfway through the season. We're in the top 5 in every statistical category. But when you lose a few key pieces like we did, more than a few, when you lose more than a few key pieces like we did, and now all of a sudden you can't rely on pitching the football. The receiving core is diminished a little bit. They're lower. We don't have the bodies. Quarterbacks are banged up. So you're going out there doing those things. You wish at that point you had more of a power football game to get yourself through a little bit. And I think we've got that now. At least we're on the right track.
What was the thought process to change that up and get the traditional tight ends and do different things like that?
Probably that.
Okay.
If nothing else, it's the fact that, if you lose a portion of your team, usually you can withstand it. See, what people don't understand is we lost a huge chunk before the season started. So now, Birmingham's on the bench because of a knee, and Blaine's on the bench because of a wrist or a thumb, and Jaden Bray's on the bench. They're all banged up. These guys are starters. Not only are they starters, they're real guys. And so if you take Larry Bird and Magic Johnson off their teams, shit. So that was happening to us. Well, we survived that with our depth initially, but then towards the back end, we had another round of it, and now you're looking at what you got, and it's guys trying to make plays towards the back end of the season where they should have gotten a lot of reps to begin with, don't really do it because they're young guys, and now they're playing a bunch of guys on the field, our opponents, who have taken reps all year long. And so it was just this discrepancy in snaps and experience, and at that point you wish you could control it just a little bit more. We were built to throw the football. We're built to air it out, go fast. And at that point you wish you could put on the brakes and all of a sudden become a run it over your face football team, but it's too late, game 8. It's just too late. And so I feel better about can we go fast? Damn right we can go fast. But can we run the football? We'll find out for sure, but I think so.
Speaking of health, how different is this spring compared to last year of developing the offense, because you aren't, just down to one group of linemen. You've got the depth there this spring to rotate guys in.
No question. This year we're running all the way through threes, and that makes a difference for everybody. Everybody's getting a lot more snaps. Last year, we were spoon feeding the offense because we could really run one group and maybe 1.5, and then you're getting to some threes. But if you were, it was really on air. We were running like team stuff kind of without the big dogs in there. It was weird. And we're not doing that now. We're just got more bodies out there, and it's the whole thing's better. Just we're deeper at receiver, deeper at back, deeper at tight end, obviously deeper at tight end, and we're deeper, unlike most people think, we're deeper at quarterback. Because, we lost Spencer, sure, we get Bowman in. Okay, bang, eye for an eye. But now the other quarterbacks, okay, you're looking at 2 guys that have had experience now. So we have 2 more quarterbacks coming back for this season that have had experience, right? So Zane right now, who is back there, he's taking his reps and doing all that stuff. He's in that situation where those guys were last year, having very few reps, and then all of a sudden being thrust into playing this year. We're not going to have that situation. We're going to have, whatever it is, we're going to have veteran guys stepping out there that have been in there and called plays and run and been in games and been hit before and gotten up and thrown another play. So we're going to have those, and it's nice to have. It's nice thinking about having that coming up for the fall.
Coach Don,
Yo.
You had Jaden Bray, you talked about him a little bit, and he, to me, just from an outside perspective, seems to kind of fit that mold of what the Oklahoma State offense wants. Big body receiver that can go up and get it. And last year, he was held out with injury. Kind of just how important is he being back in this lineup, and what dynamic does he bring to your offense that you may not have had last year?
Well, it's a good one. So Jay Bray, I already talked about it. We missed him, no question, last year. He's just a big, physical, strong guy that can go get it. But there are a lot of guys that we missed last year that are back now, and Blaine being one of them. So we're excited to have guys out there that can catch the ball, that are big and strong and all that, and more depth. We can rotate guys through. We got to the point where, unfortunately, we're running a true freshman out there, and he has to take every damn snap. We play 107 snaps versus Texas, and we got a true freshman out there taking damn near all of them. That's a tall order. And we're playing Texas, right? And we got a true freshman out there taking a ton of snaps. And we won. Life is good. But, to continue to do that was difficult. And we're much stronger, much deeper.
What makes him a little different than, not better, but different than some other guys in your room?
Oh, man, he could probably, I don't know if he can dunk it from the free throw line or not, but I'll bet it's damn close. I mean, he can jump and he can run. He's got great speed, and he's fearless. So I'm excited to see him back out there. Now, again, he hasn't taken a lot of snaps. I mean, he didn't hardly got anything last year, and when he did, he certainly wasn't polished. He was just kind of tossed back out there. He didn't have a lot of time to practice and prep and get ready. Now 2 years ago, you saw a glimpse of what he could do, and that's what I expected him to do more of and grow into it. So I would expect that year to be this year now.
When you first took over as OC, you knew clearly who QB1 was. How different is this spring, the fact that it's an open competition for QB1 now?
It's different. All those guys are taking their snaps and reps, and cadences are slightly different between each guy. So, the O-line feels it just a little bit. So sometimes we might have a twitch here and there where one of the Qs might snap it and the other one might want to linger just a little bit longer to take a picture. So that part of it is what I'm kind of keeping my eye on, is the rhythm of the offense, right? But all in all, like I said right in the beginning, is that all those guys have taken a bunch of snaps. And, we had those guys take a ton for us last year. Gunner got his, Garrett got his, and Bowman certainly has gotten his over the years. So, again, I'm pretty excited about where we're at, and time will tell where it shakes itself out.
Casey, Nothing about one of the things you talked about was being more physical in the run game. How do you establish that? And have you seen that from your team so far?
Yeah, well, we talk about it tremendously. So, it's constant physicality, running it downhill, running it in situations where we normally wouldn't have run it. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Situational work, when we get that pop up in practice. If we can run the football there, I make a big deal out of it in our unit meeting that, hey, we ran the ball for 3rd and 4, we ran the ball for 3rd and 5, and our guys get behind that and they rally. And, one thing that we're talking about is running the football and physicality go hand in hand. It's a marriage. You're not going to do one without the other. And, our guys have bought in. But it's definitely been an emphasis for us this spring.
How much of a luxury is it to have a guy like Elijah Collins who's have those reps like you talked about and have that experience?
It's good. Elijah's, a veteran guy, and we've got veteran guys now. Ollie's a veteran. Nix is a veteran. We got guys bouncing around all over the place out there at tailback that have been through battles. So, and, it's kind of funny. I was talking to our guys the other day. I was like, raise your hand here. I want all the All-Americans to raise your hand, and nothing, crickets, right? And I want all the first string, all Big 12 guys, raise your hand, nothing, crickets. But I promise you, we're as deep and as strong as we've been for a while, and I'm excited about being out there. Our guys have the right mentality right now.
Nothing against the guys who left. But are you better? I'm not just deeper, but are you better at receiver than you were, say, a year ago?
I think so. But, I don't know until we actually get out there and it's really on. But, yeah, I think so.
Talk a little bit about the give and take. You got a new defensive coordinator over there, and I've seen in spring, everybody's competitive, even in team periods. What's that been like with Brian and the scheme he's brought with it?
It's good because, so many teams have gone to running the 3 down in our conference. So to get a chance to prepare for it every day in practice is key for us right now. It's huge. So what Coach Gundy has done in bringing in somebody that understands the defense and has installed it here, and now let us kind of take a inner core look at it and try and hopefully get some schemes that we think can fit. It's made a big difference for us. I'd be lying if I told you anything different. So I'm excited about where we are offensively and trying to get all that blocked and attack it down the field and do all that stuff. And it certainly is hats off to Coach Gundy on trying to make all that work for us too. I mean, it's great. The defense is fantastic, but also it's helped us on offense.
Coach, do you wish that you had named a starter already, or are there benefits to go into fall camp with an open competition?
I love competition. Okay, and if you've been in our unit meeting room, on the wall it says compete. I mean, you can't miss it. I mean, it's so big, it's crazy. So no, I don't. It doesn't bother me that we haven't named a quarterback at this point, because I want those guys competing. If they're playing at a high level in practice, we're playing as a high level as an offensive unit. So I don't want any complacency, and right now, with that, we're getting it.
Just how hard was last year for you as a coach? Is it maybe one of the most difficult you've had as a coach?
Okay, here's it has, man. I've sat down and talked to my wife a lot about this stuff, and I just like, what the hell? But really, it's what's new. It's been 3 years, and so I get the job, I get the OC job in 2020, and the very first thing that we get is what?
Pandemic.
Correct. I mean, I don't get a damn month, and all of a sudden I'm sitting at my house, on a Zoom meeting with however many guys, and then we hit summer. And we've got social injustice and unrest, and it's the turmoil and just the stuff. I mean, so that was the first year, right? And forget about the injuries, but that was the first year. So you ask about last year. I mean, it's been like 3 years worth of fun here. And then we get into NIL, and we get into portal, and we get into all these things. And like, man, for a 3-year stretch, this has been a hell of a ride, But this is what I come back to, and my wife and I are just kind of tossing this around. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that we are the only team that has had a winning record over that stretch of time. Right? 3 years in a row, every year, a winning record. And I would venture to guess that, having said that we probably have the highest winning percentage too, or at least the most wins. I don't know how many games people play and stuff, but when I think back to it, I think, man, this team missed a bowl, or this team, had a losing season, and for whatever reason, I'm just thrilled to be a part of the culture that Gundy has established here, for sure, and his ability to continue to win in probably one of the strangest times in college football, and that's been this last 3-year window. So was last year's final 5 games of the season the hardest thing for me as a coach? It's been a good little ride here test for 3 years, let alone 5 games, but I'm in the right spot because we're winning still.
So put it in perspective then, looking at those 3 years, how much have you grown? How much have you been hardened by the sport? Whatever you want to say. How much has that impacted you as a
lot,
person,
because
as a
you're trying
coach?
to both. I mean, we're trying to reinvent every week. Sometimes we're playing with X amount of guys because they're out for COVID, and everybody had the same issues. And then next year, you lose 8 guys to the portal, and you got to come back and grab it. Nobody else is doing this. When in 2010, 2011, you weren't losing 8 guys to the portal, and trying to re-find yourself as a team and reestablish culture. So yeah, I mean, it's been a fun, unique window. It's been an opportunity to try and get everything done as far as a football coach. And Gundy, like I said, he's done a phenomenal job. I'm glad I'm a part of it because, this thing is been still at the top. We're still winning, So, yeah, I've grown as a coach and I've grown as a person, no doubt about it.
So how do you feel heading into this year, everything that's happened the past 3 years? Does it feel like a clean slate finally, or is it, still challenges?
Well, there's still challenges, and it'll settle itself out here eventually. But I mean, losing all the guys that we did to the portal in December, I mean, we won't know until we get there in September, right? So we lost a bunch, but everybody lost a bunch. We're all trying to figure this thing out. Everybody, I think, us as a coaching staff and as a team and certainly as a fan base think it's just going to be the same thing year after year, and it really is not, because it's so it's evolving all the time. You know, the receiver that you thought you had, or the quarterback you thought you had, or the offensive lineman you thought you had, or the all Big 12 tight end you thought you had, you know, maybe he packed up and went somewhere else. And I'm saying that for all teams in the country, not just Oklahoma State. You know, that's everybody. So we got to take a deep breath every once in a while and just go, okay, hey man, you know, do we continue to get it done? We're getting it done. I'm excited to be at a place that we are.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.